What's going on? We're back with another Feature Friday. We got my good friends, my brothers from community. I would say my mentors, my peers. We out here. And Aaliyah.
Yeah, so it's episode 12 of 12 of season 2, and it's brought to you by the Supporting Black Canadian Communities Initiative, administered by the Black Business Initiative. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
Let's dive in.
Let's do it.
What's up?
Let's go. So, brothers,
Yes.
Nevell Provo, Corvell Beals. Who wants to go first?
Brothers with different last names.
Yeah, brothers with different last names. I was like, what?
Shout out to Putty.
Yeah.
Papa was a Rolling Stone.
Start us up, big bro.
Yeah, I'm Corvell Beals from North Preston. Entrepreneur, father, follower of God, man. That's kind of where it's at. Yeah.
Serial entrepreneur.
Yeah, serial entrepreneur. Been at it for a minute. Yeah, I only know this. This is the only life I know, really, just creating. And yeah.
So we got a lot to dive in with you, in particular, in terms of business and your journey from like high school to where you are now. And then we'll let Nevell introduce himself.
Yeah, Nevell Provo. Many of the things he said, follower of God, from North Preston, entrepreneur, not a dad. But yeah, former athlete. Played ball for some years at a high level. And from ball, jumped into the business world and been at the business world ever since. I've always been an entrepreneur, always, started different little businesses, but officially on paper, the last 6 or 7 years was when we really started. Smooth Meal Prep was our first business on paper. Well, for me, he had a construction company before that. But yeah, that's me.
Okay, dope. So early on, both you guys have probably similar backgrounds to when you were younger. So we'll maybe touch on that a little bit in terms of like the Bulls, sports. What was life like for you as a young person going navigating grade school?
In North Preston, basketball is a big part of the fabric, right? So, basically, if you ain't a baller playing basketball, I don't really know what you were doing.
I wouldn't do nothing with my life.
Yeah. So, played ball, came out playing basketball, had the whole hoop dream thing, went away for basketball in like grade 9. Grade 9, grade 10 in Toronto, played AAU, went to a tournament in Indiana once, seen Carmelo Duncan, and I'm like, I'm not going to the NBA, right? So I moved back home, finished out high school back here, and that was pretty much, the route. Basketball, our parents, mom and dad, they started the North Preston Bulls when I was probably like 5 or something, and
so that was the original. When you were 5, or that was the original Bulls?
Yeah. The 96 or something like that.
The year I was born.
Okay,
yeah, 96. Okay. Yeah, the Bulls, they started the Bulls program. So, came up in the Bulls, and then I'm actually the president of the Bulls now. But yeah, that was pretty much it. The regular driving bikes around the neighborhood, playing basketball. Actually, we played my dad, he grew up in sports, playing different sports in Toronto and stuff before he moved home. So he always had us in different sports. So, we play hockey, basketball, volleyball, whatever sports are really running. Like we were signing up athletes from the beginning, right? And then just the regular rest.
So sports was a major part of your life?
100% for sure.
We glossed over it quickly, but you're the president of the Bulls.
Yeah.
What roles does that entail?
Basically just overseeing the organization, keeping it afloat. Our mandate is just to provide organized sports to kids, right? Organized sports in a safe environment to kids. And I think we're going on to year 30 coming up soon. We're in year 29, right? I've been the president, I think, for the last maybe 6 or 7 years, something like that.
7.
Yeah, I did it right.
She hits me with it every time.
Put that on a reel.
And then it's crazy that it happens all the time. Like And I don't know if people say 6'7" more now, but it's a wild thing. But
they be doing it in a lecture. I'm like, wait.
it's crazy. But go ahead.
Yeah, my
Just
bad.
have
But
it.
yeah, so no, that's it. Like really just, basically you just overseeing an organization, man. You know what I mean? It's a business, really, to be honest. Like it's a business that just don't make no money. The the Bulls specifically, they really don't be making no money.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just kind of, running the organization, making sure registration gets in, the coaches get the proper trainings, scheduling the practices, registration, banquets, just pretty much organizing the organization of the North Preston Bulls. You know
You got a lot going on. So you got the Bulls organization as president. That seems like a lot in itself. Then you got R&B Kitchen that we'll probably touch on in a bit. And then I think we'd probably want to touch on a lot of different businesses that you were involved in. And then in the meantime, we'll hop over to you and tell us about your involvement with the Bulls, because I know you be coaching now, and I know you probably grew up in the Bulls as well.
Yeah, so same thing for me. Grew up an athlete. A lot of different sports: hockey, basketball, lacrosse, football, and for me, I played at high levels in all those sports. Well, at the time. But then, kind of basketball won me as an athlete. So I went on to play high school at a high level, Team Canada, Division I, a little bit further down the line to the NBA dream. And for me, it was when I seen, a good friend of mine, one of the best players I seen didn't make it to the NBA, Xavier Rathan-Mays. I'm like, I'm probably not going to go to the NBA. But that was a little bit longer. I made it to Division I and got close. I was on a couple of draft websites and all that good stuff. But then, after that...
Touch on the NCAA experience, all that.
Yeah, so the NCAA was wild, So in high school, grade 9, I was kind of ranked, a top 10 in Canada. I was ranked one of the top 2 to 3 point guards in Canada. Played for Team Canada. Played at Huntington Prep, which was a top prep school. In the States, we were ranked number 1 in the country.
Oh,
right?
wow.
And
What state?
Huntington, West Virginia. So that was my grade 10, 11 year. Andrew Wiggins, Xavier Rathan-Mays, Negus Webster-Chan, Tanvir Bular.
These guys is all on your team?
All on my team. So that year we had every player on my team played Division I. Right?
Today. So you were playing against, so you weren't just on the team with Wiggins, you were playing against other players.
Yes, I'm on a team with Wiggins, and we're playing Harry Giles, and we're playing, all kind of guys that are Jabari Parker. Then when I played
New York Knicks right now,
Jalen Brunson. So, but when I played Team Canada, that's when I played Jalen Brunson, Justin Winslow, the guy in the Celtics, Jalen Brown, right? So I played all those guys, right?
wow.
Those are my peers
in your class.
Basketball, right? I'm guarding Brunson, he's guarding me. We're both lefties. I'm going at him, he's going at me.
Who were cooking who?
Hey man, we were neck and neck, right? Because I was like the starting point guard on my team. He was kind of coming off the bench behind Tyus Jones, right?
He followed your career well.
Yeah, no, he
pushing you.
That was my agent. But to see those guys now in the league making millions is like crazy. Like Dylan Brooks, that's a good friend of mine. We were on a team together, and he's now averaging 23 points per game in the NBA.
Wow.
Right? So just seeing that was a crazy journey for me as an athlete.
Do you find that going through that experience and being in amongst those great players, do you feel like that built up your confidence when you left and started your entrepreneurial journey?
1,000%. I definitely always was a confident individual for many reasons.
Why he left?
Yeah, we go. Fan the camera. What's going on?
He said he was confident.
Yeah.
I agree that he was confident.
Yeah, I was confident. Some would say cocky, right? In some senses, I've humbled myself in many areas of life. But, being an athlete and at that level, being the number 1 point guard in Canada, playing for Team Canada, and, going and playing against these guys that are also top ranked and being able to bang with them, it definitely, created confidence that then transferred into life, and, I done a lot of work on myself because at times as well where I had confidence in life, but then in basketball, my confidence sometimes took a hit. So I had to kind of develop and redevelop and reshape that confidence. And, going through that process and learning a lot more about confidence and building confidence, now you ask, are you nervous to do this? Like, no, there's not really much I'm nervous about that. Because I read a great book one time about sports psychology that said, if someone else was able to come on a podcast and do it successfully, chances are I could probably do it because I would think of myself as not a bottom feeder person, that would be the worst in the world at something. So if someone else was able to do something successfully, I could probably do it good enough so that goes for anything, right? So that definitely comes from sport. And then that confidence is definitely translated, to life and business for sure.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, quick question. So it sounds like you both went away for ball for school, and also Team Canada, NCAA. What was that process like? How did you get to go away for ball for school and get that experience? Then NCAA, Team Canada. Yeah.
For me, it was kind of like it wasn't something that happened during those times. I was just lucky enough that my dad's brother had a big house in Pickering, Ontario, and I had built a good relationship with him over the years. So it was an easy ask. Like, hey, Unc, I'm trying to play ball. Can I come live with you? Right? I had been, stayed at his house a few times in the summer. I always kind of carried myself with respect, manners, clean up after myself, those types of things. So it was like, I don't know on the back end what him and my dad talked about. I don't know if they give him a couple bucks or not, but yeah, so it was just like, it was a desire. I wanted to play. I knew that like people weren't really going D1 from out here. So I'm like, man, I got to go. And I knew I had to leave early. So I just left, you know what I mean? And that was really kind of, it was kind of before the
People
wave.
were even doing it.
You know what I mean? Like it was me and like, one of the guys I played with, Federico, he came the year after. This is before like Chris Johnson and them guys would have left. I left early, grade 9. I didn't even.
That's why I was wondering.
I didn't even graduate like junior high. You know what I mean? So like, it was something that you kind of seen it, and then it's like you just got to do it. And I was always cool with risk, right? Like taking the risk. I believed in myself, like beyond this place. So I was like, I gotta go, gotta try, right?
I feel that.
And then following up, me seeing him do it was like, okay, now that's kind of how our life journey has been. He's kind of paved the way for me in certain areas and done things beforehand, and then okay, either not to do that or okay, here, that is something to do. So when it was my time now, I was playing ball here, knew I was at a higher level than everyone. I always played up. I kind of seen again that I wouldn't be able to reach the goals that I had for myself if I was here. So same thing. I went to stay with that same uncle in that same house.
Shout out to Uncle Luke.
Yeah.
Uncle Dwayne, man. Uncle Dwayne, man. Uncle Dwayne. Good people, right? Uncle Dwayne and Ange. Shout out to Aunt Ange. So same type of process. So now I'm in Toronto. But again, from him being there already, and kind of seeing, I'm now able to go a bit further. So now I'm playing on different AAU teams. I'm playing at Pickering High, which was a top high school in Toronto at the time. So now from there in my grade 9 year, I, had some early success, which then got me, on the radar of schools in the States. So then the next year was when Huntington Prep, would have recruited me. We get down to Huntington Prep, and then same thing, I remember, again, him kind of being my agent was like just taking that risk, right? Some people, oh no, it's not a good decision, or stay here. And this was before people were really going to the States, right? There was now all kind of kids go to the States, but at that time it wasn't that popular. There was a couple guys, but it wasn't a huge thing to do.
So how important was his push or his guidance for you in those?
Yeah, no, without him, I'm not here, right? Without him and other members of the family kind of, but him specifically, I think his guidance, like I said, he's always been my agent when it came to sports and a lot of decisions being made for sure.
100%.
And a lot of it too was just, again, like always thinking beyond Nova Scotia, and then risk. Like I don't know what the word is, but I'm a risk taker. So like at a young age, you know what I mean? So I always like my family, they traveled, You know what I mean? Like we were Toronto, Cleveland, New York. Like my dad loved to drive, so like nothing to hop on the road and like he would just take us places. So like I was already real comfortable not being here, right? And seeing the world. Like, you know, shout out to Joe Moser, took a group of us to New York when we were like 13, before the World Trade Centers collapsed. You know what I mean? Like that summer. And so, you know, just seeing things, like you start seeing things beyond this place. It's like, yeah, let me go try it. And so, yeah, that's kind of really where it starts. And then it's like, all right, cool. But like, I was limited to my ability and also like the knowledge. So like, I'm doing it. My parents don't really know. They just letting me go, but they don't know nothing. So I'm kind of just gone, 14 years old, signing up to a basketball thing just before the internet and all that, right? So like, you know, when his time was coming, it's like, okay, cool. Like you start building connections. It's like, before you go, we got to know a few of these little things to kind of eliminate, you know, some of those road bumps that you're taking. Like I'm taking the bus 2-3 hours to go to practice. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, just figuring it out as you go type of thing, right?
Yeah, I think that's super important. The so for you, we talked a lot about sports. We'll get to you about your first entrepreneurial like experiences. When do you feel like you knew that you were an entrepreneur in your heart of hearts? Because I know that you're an entrepreneur heart of heart through and through. So what was that initial spark, or when you knew it was it?
Honestly, man, like I believe that like it was always there. Like I don't really, I can't really remember a time where it's like, yeah, that's when the light switched. It was always like, you know, and how I see entrepreneurship is kind of how I actually lived it. Like, you know, entrepreneurship is solving other people's problems. You know what I mean? And so like, and then finding a way to get paid. Originally, I'm not really focused on the pay part and solving people's problems. It was more like, I'm just trying to solve these problems. So it goes back to like being, you know, in basketball, we play in basketball tournaments on the court, and I'm the one that's like doing the brackets, you know what I mean? I'm the one that's making sure like, yo, your pick, right? Whenever we would travel like in town, it's like I'm the one that's figuring out the route, you know what I mean? Like, here's how we gotta go. This is what bus we gotta take. These the girls we meet in this what time. Like I was always that person, right? And so like even, you know, back in when I was doing music and stuff, like same thing. Like I was a person booking the studios, like so I always had that I'm a solve it personality, right? So entrepreneur, like it was just natural. Like entrepreneurship didn't even exist. Like there was no entrepreneurship class when I was in high school. You know what I mean? Like maybe in my grade 12 year, like they introduced the class. I'm like, what's this? I didn't even know what it was, but I was always doing like business 101 and just different shit like that, different stuff like that, right? So
you're
like,
good. You're good. We did it before.
Right?
So what I'm getting from you, and I see it, is you were a person for the people, solving other people's problems, figuring out for them, like how you had agency for him. And I feel like you do the same for me as like a mentor. Now as an entrepreneur, it's like taking all these skills that I learned coming up from younger, not making money off it, and then now figuring out how to use all these skill set to make money.
And so I think that's really it. Yeah, like naturally, I'm willing to solve the problem. Like I'm a person, like if I show up to an event at the end of the event and they got to put tables away, like I'm gonna help put tables away. You know what I mean? But also too, like if I see like one person doing one table, it's like, yo, like, hey, 4 people, let's go get 10 tables. Then we'll stack them here. We're gonna lift them once. So like I'm always thinking that way. I think the financial spark is what really like switched when I realized, because like I was this person, but I also looked at myself as a person and how I get money as separate, right? And once I really started realizing like, yo, you could be yourself and get money doing it, you know what I mean? So like that's when I would say like I really put the two together. You know what I mean? I would say that probably started when I was like 18. Me and a few of my friends, we started a wood company, Boys in the Woods, and we basically would buy logged wood, chop it and split it and sell it. Right, so that was the business, selling cords of wood, right? You know what I mean? We bought an old beat down truck, had no lift gate or nothing. We stacked the wood on it. We chopped the wood up, stacked the wood on it, and then go drop it off in people's yard and get paid. So like that was probably like the first time when I realized like, let me put the 2 wires together and get the engine started, right? Yeah, I was 18.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Another question. So I feel like you both went away for basketball and had opportunities to create opportunity elsewhere, but also with your entrepreneurship, it sounds like a lot of it is based here and you're making something happen here in Nova Scotia. So maybe just speaking to how you're able to create opportunity in a place that sometimes people think that it's limited when it's not. You guys are.
Well, yeah, that's the biggest thing is like, again, like the challenge for me was I wanted to go to the NBA. I ain't never seen nobody from here go to the NBA. I wasn't even the best player. So I knew I had to leave. I had to go introduce myself to coaches. I had to change my environment if I even wanted a shot, right? And so the challenge for me, I also knew it was for other people because I knew it was people that were better than me, right? And so, when you think about like the basketball journey, like we got to leave to try to make it. And so I see it as like, man, like, well, why we got to leave? You know what I mean? Like, so that's when you think about like top 40 camp. It's like, yo, let's bring the shit here. Let's bring it here so that, these kids don't got to leave. Families don't got to decide, do I send my kid away, right? And so, it's, when you think about that, like athletically and sports and all that, it exists. But now think about it economically. You know what I mean? Like there's a shit ton of opportunity here in this province, but we just don't have access to it. Or we don't have that bridge to get us to the access to it. You know what I mean? And so it's like a lot of what, we try to do specifically is like, keep that link with the community, right? And not just North Preston, but like we just want to keep the link to community, like, and people like Nevell who are able to go out and like go further than I can go and gather up all the information, gather up all the, the new ways of doing things and even some of the old ways of doing things. And then, okay, let me link that back in, right? And so I think that's really kind of what it is. It's just being an entrepreneur inside of entrepreneurship is even something that like, because this is a whole world of challenges, you know what I mean, that our people are facing economically. And it's like, you just want to keep building the bridge.
Yes,
right? And I'll touch on that as well, to your question around opportunity. A lot of times we don't see opportunity here. A lot of times we feel like, oh, well, you can't do nothing here. There's nothing here, right? And I love the question because I think we are being examples of that, right? Who would have thought Nova Scotians wanted soul food, mac and cheese, cornbread. Like, no one, we didn't even really fully know. We just test the water out, meal prep, all these things, right? And I think, at the end of the day, there's 1 million people here, right? And it's continuing to grow. And when what I've noticed is this Nova Scotia, we're usually maybe 10 years behind when it comes to bigger cities, New York, Toronto, et cetera. So all we kind of do is like look at what's happening now or what happened 5 years ago. Or, different things that they were doing and how can we make it happen here? It might be on a smaller scale here, but there's definitely opportunity to do things because people spend money here like anywhere else, but it's just understanding what the problems are, understanding what the market wants and creating something that exists. And, there's a ton of things here that, but the huge opportunity about this place is because it's 10 years and we kind of do things how we've always done it. The companies that exist, they just do things that the way they always done. The business we've seen are the business that always existed, right? So if you go out and look and see things done at a new place, it's opportunity to create it here. Shout out to Sud Drop, right? J-Rel Diggs. Okay, there wasn't no laundry service, right? You have dry cleaners, but no one thought, well, people in Halifax want their laundry done too. We got college students, we got people that need these services as well. These services already exist somewhere else in the world, right? But creating the opportunities here and finding those opportunities, they exist. You just gotta,
And it's tough that I know you because I remember when Smooth Meal Prep was starting out, and I think this is a perfect segue because you were in Ontario. Shout out to our cousin, and he was getting meal prep from someone else up there, and then maybe tell that story.
Yeah, so same thing. I was in Ontario and I was in LA, and I seen it there, right? And then when I came back to Ontario, and he was getting a meal, so now I'm like, well, shoot. I looked online in Halifax meal prep. Nothing came up, right? So I'm like, well, is it that people don't want this at all? So then you just test the market. You see if it exists. So I called him and I asked him, well, how much do you pay? He's like, $175 a week. We're like, okay. Halifax probably worth $125 a week. That's how we started our first pricing. Okay, how many meals you get? And we literally copied pretty much exactly what they did. And it's a funny story now. The guy that he was getting the meals from, the company, is a good friend of mine now. The owner, shout out to On to Run Meals, my boy Galen. But that's literally what we did. We saw this existing and thriving in Toronto, repackaged it, brought it here, and had some success.
And it's interesting because I remember you studied nutrition or something like that.
Not necessarily studied nutrition. In high school, I was into nutrition heavily. Did my own studying. So yeah, I guess I did study. I didn't go to school for it. But I started a smooth meal plan, which was like 2000. When was I in high school? 2013, 2014. Crazy time. And then from there, that was just creating meal plans and workout plans for people. Then when I seen the meal prep, I'm like, well, shoot, I can take it a step further.
Yeah.
We brought it together. Mom loved to cook. I had the meal plans. He had the ability to kind of put it all together.
Because it's cool to see how, like, okay, you had that smooth meals.
Yeah.
And then it evolved from another idea that you seen out in the world when you were gone away.
Same
and
stuff.
Then you brought
online,
that back.
Instagram. I seen people making meal plans and getting in shape and then selling their meal plans. So I just did the same stuff.
Yeah.
And then so that was a stepping stone to what is now R&B. And if that didn't happen, then this might not have happened. So maybe talk about how it evolved or transitioned to R&B.
Same kind of thing, you know. So we had smooth meal prep. So we started in the kitchen up home, in Mom's kitchen. We outgrew that space. Couldn't cook food in the house.
It was illegal.
Trapping out the
but
kitchen.
like I always tell people, man, start where you're at.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need a big space. Start at home until they knock at the door and say,
Them
you
permits.
can't do that, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So then we went to a commercial space up the hall.
Yeah.
We rented out the kitchen.
I
That
was
legal.
there.
Trev was in there delivering, right?
Like, what is it? We'll deliver food for
Exactly.
for food.
And that's it. Trev was
Deliver for
getting
food. Yeah, that's
food.
it. Delivering
Delivering
for
food
food.
and getting food, right? And we wasn't
I was
paying him,
surviving
but he was
mama food.
eating, right? So then, boom, we outgrew the hall, and then we rented the kitchen space where we're at still to this day. But the key for that is the meal prep only happens on Sunday and Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's when we cook and we deliver. So we had 5 other days where nothing was happening in the kitchen. So we're like, well, shoot, man, we got to figure something out to make use of this space. So we put on
that we're paying for anyway, right?
Exactly. We put on Kijiji. You know, we had a couple people, you know, come in to, you know, want to do some stuff, but it didn't really work out. They were trying to bake cakes and
Do random stuff.
butcher, all kind of stuff. Stuff that we couldn't account for. So, long story short, shout out to Putty. He always said, man, you guys need to sell this kind of food, right? You need to sell this kind of food. And shout out to
Who's Putty for the people that
Putty-
might not know?
Putty's the mayor. Putty's the mayor, aka Dad. Right?
Shout out to Pops.
So the girl I was with at the time, shout out Ray Mai, she could cook. She could cook really good. So she was always cooking food for the family, whatever the case is. Putty like, man, you got to sell this food. You got to sell this food. So we're like, shoot, let's make some plates, right? So the next day we made some plates. We made like 20 plates of jerk chicken, whatever the case is. And they sold out. Next day they sold out. And we were like, okay, well, what will we call this? This is something. Let's make it something. We still go back and forth on who created the name, but I say I did, right? Because I was in the States again. And I seen a place called Hip Hop Kitchen, right? And they had the best chicken wings. So I'm like, well, down home we love R&B music.
Yeah.
We're gonna call it R&B Kitchen.
Boom.
And
Tell us your story.
that's
Real
how
quick,
it came to life,
interject.
right?
Tell us how you saw it.
We were doing smooth meal prep there Sundays and Wednesdays, and all we playing is R&B music, right? So every time, like, you know, people will walk in, they say, "Oh, all you guys got some good R&B music on." And so it's like, yeah, when we started selling the food, I'm just like, yeah, we're just gonna call it R&B. This is R&B Kitchen already, right? So, you know, at this point in my life, man, like, he can have it. You know what I mean? Right?
Nevell coined the name.
Yeah,
The
man.
lore is
How we got here, it don't matter.
Yeah.
We
Don't
here.
matter.
Put a poll
Right?
in the comments.
We here.
Yeah.
No, for real.
that's dope.
But yeah, that's the story.
That's cool. So that's actually, oh, sorry, you're going to say something.
I was just gonna say, I think one of the biggest things that like is often overlooked, you know, for the success of R&B Kitchen specifically was COVID, right? You know, God's timing. Like, I think we don't talk. Well, I mean, we talk about it, but it's like the reality of it is like COVID actually created a behemoth for us, right? Because we opened in February. We sold our first plates in February
2020.
And then COVID hit in March. So we had like 20 days of hype, 30 days of hype, and then boom, everything shut down. But this speaks to the testament to the entrepreneurship, solving problems. And when COVID come, it's like emergency. What was it called? Essential only.
Essential only.
Right. We were like takeout and delivery only.
Mm-hmm.
We were only doing takeout and delivery.
Okay.
So when companies had to adjust, right, we were already. This is what we were doing.
Restaurants closed down.
Closed down to reopen to fit the new way of doing things. But this is what we were already doing.
Yeah.
And so that's the power
Divine
of God,
timing.
right? But watch this, and this is the craziest part. This is the entrepreneurship part. We were like, because we always trying to give back. So like, man, like what could we do to help the people? We're like, all right, free delivery. We didn't even know, like we were just like free delivery. Like, you know.
We were going everywhere.
Right? Because like, you know, the Black Nova Scotia community, like we spread out, but we close. Like we connected. So like we knew like, you know, we wanted to hit you with some food. So people were calling from like Spryfield, Hammers Plains, and all these crazy places. So we were like, we had runs. So like at 2:00 every day, we'll be in Spryfield. At 4:30, we'll be in whatever. So you call, put your order in. So because we had their free delivery, it just blew up. No one could get food. There was probably like 4 or 5 restaurants open. We were one of them, free delivery. Who you gonna call? Right. You know what I mean? And so, you know, I think that was one of the biggest things that kind of really like pushed the window for R&B Kitchen. R&B Kitchen for sure.
Yeah, so we talked a lot about the successes of the journey. What are some of the things, like COVID was a blessing in disguise, but like what are some of the hurdles or the hardships of like maybe with the smooth and with the transition to
every day? Like, you know, I think like if we went and focused on like the hardships, the setbacks, like let's reconsider, like, man, every single day from 2019 or 2018 in Mom's Kitchen to today. There's something that's like, man, like, are we doing the right thing? Right? But you know, like, I'll let him maybe talk about some specifics, but I'll say this, like, ultimately, man, it's the same thing. Like, you down by 20, it's halftime. You quitting or you going back with the ball?
You got no
you know what I mean? Like,
keep going.
you got to go play. Like, because what happens if you lose? You lose anyway. You know what I mean? So, like, are you accepting losing at halftime, right? Or are you going to go lace your shoes up and go give it all you got and try to win the game? So, like, you're already losing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we came from nothing, so we can't lose anyway because we already win by default.
We're not losing. You know what I mean?
One thing we always say is, you know, failure. Okay, what's failure, right? And for business, well, what's failure, right? We come from a place where failure, the ultimate failure is death, right? So if it ain't death, it's okay, right? And we come from backgrounds where, okay, in different worlds, failure is jail. Failure is, you know, some major issues. So business failure is like, all right, worst case, the business loses it all, and I don't know,
bankruptcy.
Maybe bankruptcy.
I ain't never
raise some money. We owe the
Yeah.
bank some money. Like, all right, and keep on. Bill collector's still calling my phone, right? Hey man,
Trust me,
I'll get you guys soon.
Yo, better get off.
People
I'll get
see
you
on the
guys
outside
soon.
everything, but then on the inside of business, they don't see the hardship. But it's also, folks, that's why some people don't even try it because they're like, oh, I can't do it. But the only way to get to the top of the stairs is to walk one step at a time and make it to the next level, right?
And it ain't for the weak, you know. Like, if you ain't mentally strong, and if you ain't like, if you don't have that thing about you, like, you know, man, stick to your day job, and that's cool. But I'll say this to anyone with a day job too, like, yo, but have a plan, because you could get there too. You know what I mean? With the right structure, the right discipline, the right plan. You know what I mean? Because, like, when you come over to this side, like, now you have to have it. You know what I mean? Or you're going to lose everything. At least when you mess around with your day job and you kind of go off the rails a little bit, like, that job still exists. As long as you're handling your business and, you know, with your employer, that job still exists. You mess around in entrepreneurship, you mess around as a business owner, it's over. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you mess up your re-up, it's over. You know what I mean? Like, it's over. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's really the biggest thing is, like, at the end of the day, like, you just got to keep going. The hurdles are going to come. There are some, like, there's been, like,
and
I don't even, like, it's, like, to be honest, like, personally, like, I be forgetting about them.
Because it gets to a point where you're so resilient to where that doesn't even hurt you anymore.
The lesson exists is like, remember
we got through that.
Yeah.
When it happens again, we ain't even gonna feel it, and then something else is gonna come that we have to learn.
Like this run, it's like, yo, we got to make sure that we paying our taxes up front because we know what it's like to get that bill in the mail. You know what I'm saying? So like, you learn about it, but like, and you remember it, but like, honestly, like, I don't really give a lot of time to the failures because I know we're going to get a next failure next week. Like I'm chasing failures.
100%.
You know what I mean? Because I'm constantly growing. I tell my kids I coach basketball. It's like, man, if you could dribble comfortably, you're not doing it good.
That's facts, yeah.
Right? You got to push yourself. I want to see you lose the ball. You know what I mean? I want to see you fall down. Right? So in business, I'm doing the same thing. Like, it's like I'm looking to fall down. I'm running up the stairs trying to fall. It's like, okay, cool. When I fall, I know I'm getting back up. So now, how did I fall? How do I prevent that fall? What did I do when I fall? Right? So like,
analyzing.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Staying in that mode is like, all right, cool. We're back up and running. All right, good. Boom. Where's the next failure? Because we're constantly growing. Right? So,
yeah, because you guys are serial entrepreneurs. I know you guys did multiple businesses. Is there any businesses specific that you want to like maybe highlight some of the lessons that you learned?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, right? For the sake of the drill, right? I mean, specifics, you name one, right? Hiring, finding money, organization, right? Taxes, right? Accounting. There's a list of issues and hurdles.
Financial
right?
discipline.
Financial discipline. So then that's where I was gonna go to say the main thing that I've kind of gathered over the past 6-7 years, and I see, you know, now are turning the tide of success is getting out of your own way, right? And working on yourself, right? Because the business is only going to go as far as you yourself can take it, right? So I think for me, for him, for us, it's really been a lot of self work, right? And that kind of started with God, you know, really putting God first and bettering ourselves, right? Bettering my body, bettering my mind, creating more discipline in my life. And that discipline in my life trickles down and translates into the businesses, right? Because a lot of times, you know, we were serial entrepreneurs. So we're doing a lot of things. This business, that business. Oh, shit's just coming up. Problems are coming up. And, we can solve it, right? Yeah, we can solve it day one. But then we're not managers, right? We can't solve it every day. Because me personally, I got what they call ADHD. My mom don't like when I say it, but when I say it is she said, don't speak that on your life. But I know what it exists, and it's not a problem for me because it's a blessing and it's just a blessing. Yeah. But I understand it, and I got to build myself around it and build a team around it, right? So, you know, again, all those challenges exist, but developing ourselves and getting better as people, you know, have made our businesses better, right?
I like that you touched on God with that instance, because that's something that I think about often is getting connected to God, getting aligned with my intentions and staying true to myself and what I believe who I am. But when you said, there's a quote, it's, as I become better, so do my circumstances, so does my life, so does everything. So like, as we work on ourselves, like think of ourselves as this marble slab. If we continue to put the work in on ourselves, everything else, like you said, it translates to your business, to your relationships, to your friendships, to your community. Because like you guys are a testament of North Preston being a better place based off of what you're doing with business, what you're doing with the presidency as the Bulls coach. It's you can see it. It's not just an idea.
Yeah. And you both mentioned like bettering yourselves, developing yourselves, and just that type of mindset shift. What are some specific examples or advice that you have for someone else that's looking to get in that space as well, whether it be spiritually, lifestyle, and just finding themselves?
I'll jump on that first. I put a post up the other day, and, you know, I'll quickly give the story. You know, someone asked me once, always ask me, what's your priorities? Yeah. Right? Or I asked them, and they gave me their list of priorities, but they made a key distinction to say, I have a want, a list of wants, what my ideal priorities, and then I have the actual priorities, right? So I always would say God first, Health second, business and finance family third, business and finance and fourth. But at that time, that's not how I was living.
Yeah.
Right. So when that's been the biggest eye opener for me, is really aligning those priorities and living in those priorities. Right. Starting with God. God, for me, has been a foundation. Right. And everything has trickled after that. And then secondly, health. Right. So specifically with health, taking care of your health. Fasting, a lot of that type of stuff has really been helping me. But from getting my body in order has allowed my mind to be clearer, has allowed me to be more organized, has allowed me to literally be able to work longer because my energy levels are higher and all those things. Yeah. And just, again, aligning those priorities for myself as a person. Then again, now that same thing can happen in my business where, okay, here's the priorities, here's how things have to get done, here's the order, and not slipping in those areas, right? So I think for me, that part, and just really focusing on that has been huge.
I think that's good too, the alignment of your priorities and actually following through
Exactly.
with them rather than having the list.
And staying tapped in on discipline.
Yeah.
I would say, reading has been like one of the biggest cheat codes. You know what I mean? Like, even if you don't read, like podcasts, audio books, YouTube, like we live in a world where like you just got unlimited access to information. And so like, I believe that you could literally learn anything. Like literally, like if I wanted to, it may not be, again, I don't really live in the world of what's legal and illegal. If I wanted to, I could learn to do heart surgery. If someone in the hood want to let me do heart surgery, you know what I mean? Like I could probably learn, like literally, like you could go find the books, you could watch a couple videos, like you could actually learn to do it. You know what I'm saying? So like,
I agree 100% because I think it's people that like you're studying med school and people that are passionate about a specific thing. It's not work to them to learn and to yes. So then for me, fashion's not hard. For you, serial entrepreneurship is not hard. For you, doing food business and entrepreneurship isn't difficult. So it's pursuing or going and learning what you're passionate about. It might be going to get a degree so you can do open heart surgery and not go to jail. But then it's also tapping into learning outside of school. I think that's one of the things that you've taught me a lot of. Shout out to the E-Myth, the book you put me onto. And a lot of folks think that you can just learn when you go to school or you learn when you're in university, but it's
more than that.
People like that you need to have friends that can put you on the game that's not school game, because the school, a lot of them professors, and you could attest to this, a lot of them people that's in university, they professors. They're not running real businesses.
No, never did.
And it's learning how to learn. I think, I'm forever always going to push post-secondary education. I'm going to tell you why. Is because it shrinks the way that you learn. You know what I mean? Like, so like the way I learned, honestly, like this shit took a lot of failure. You know what I mean? Like literally, like that's just what happened. Like, it's like, it took long and it was like a lot of failure. This guy go to school 3-4 years and he come back with like shrunk information wrapped up, boom, new words, new ideologies. And he'll start saying some of the stuff. I'll be like, wait a minute, I was doing that. Like, you know what I mean? I was doing that over there. Okay, that's what that is. But like, I didn't know it. And so I think it shrinks the information for you and wraps it up nice. So like, I think that like, like these, don't get me, now if you're going to school thinking that it's going to get you paid, no, but you're going to learn. You know what I'm saying? So like me, and then the ability to learn has been key. You know what I mean? So like I would say to like any young kids, man, like you 13, 14, you looking for a different way. I don't give a shit. I don't care what you want to do. Learn how to learn. You know what I mean? So like literally the ability to be able to sit and listen to your teacher talk for an hour and then go and read the book, the homework or whatever the case may be and doing your assignment, that flow is the ability to learn. So now wherever you go, whether it's university or you hit the streets or I don't care, whatever it is you do, you have the process of learning. You know what I'm saying? Now you can learn anything. You could be whatever you want to be. You could do whatever you want to do, right? But you first got to have that learning how to learn. Right.
And I'll jump, the after reading, I'd say mentorship, right? Mentors. And it's something that, I've always knew and continues to show itself. But when I think about basketball, like I got to a high level of basketball because of mentors, right? Coaches, I still hold dear to those coaches that taught me a lot about the game. When it comes to business, right? A good part about SMU, shout out to SMU Entrepreneurship Center. Trevor has some experience with them. Right away, they put me in touch with mentors, right? So here I am, a kid in university running a small business, but I have access to mentors that have sold businesses worth $80 million and really at a different level. And throughout my career as an entrepreneur, there's been a lot of people in my life that I could go to learn those things that you just won't know unless someone else has been there before, right?
And
so
that's the key. Someone that's already done what you're about to do.
Someone that's already done what you've been to do, and that's mentors, right? So anyone in any kind of walk, I don't care what it is, whatever it is. Again, in my walk with God, as I'm trying to get closer to God, I got spiritual mentors, people that know the Bible a little bit further than me, and been walking with God a little bit longer than me, right? So that process of mentorship, I think, it just speeds up your learning, speeds up your growth in whatever area you're focused in.
And I'm glad you highlighted mentorship as well, because that kind of ties into another question I had for the both of you, is how you're able to transfer your learnings and your experience and expertise to other people in community, whether it be youth, and then also I do believe mentorship can also be with the elders and back and forth and reciprocal in those ways. So how do you transfer what you've learned?
I believe that you didn't learn it if you can't teach it. You know what I mean? Did you really learn if you can't teach? You know what I mean? And so, like, a lot of times for me, man, honestly, like, I be just testing the market. You know what I mean? I want to know what I know. How do I know what I know? Can I make someone else know it too? You know what I mean? So, like, as much as I genuinely want to, like, give the game to people, I really do. Like, I really want to, like, whatever I know, like, I want to share it. Like, I don't, man, here's how we did it. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what's going on. As much as I love doing that, you know what I mean? Especially for our people. Sometimes, like, I'll learn something new, and then I just need to talk to someone about it to see if I really know it now. Like, I want to engrave it into my spirit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, a lot of it is, like, I'm just trying to teach. I'm trying to teach people what I know, making sure I know, tightening up, you know what I'm saying? Because now when I'm saying something to you, if you ain't really grasping, I'm reading your response. I'm watching your next podcast to see, like, if I said something to you, and then next time you say that, do you really know it? If you can know it from me, then it's like, I really know it too. And it just holds you accountable to being able to do what it is that you say you want to do. You know what I mean? Like, when I teach somebody something, now I got to live it. When I say it out loud, like, man, I got to live it. Like, I can't, you know what I mean?
I think that's a key point in terms of being being a mentor and a mentee. Like, you guys got mentors. Both of you guys are my mentor. And I feel like we both learn from each other.
100%.
But it's also, like, being a mentor and having a mentee, when you, like what you just said, it hit me, because there's a lot of stuff. If you preaching something to a young person or someone that's looking for game, and then you're not living it, then you're basically lying to them. And I feel like in order for you to be in alignment, in order for you to be the best you can be, you got to give the best game you can give. And that game got to, I think what you just made me realize is that the game you give makes your game better, and it makes you better.
Too Short said it. You know what I mean? He said, if you know something, teach it, because it make no sense to keep it to yourself.
And then
that's how you felt, but you might feel better if you spread your wealth. Right?
And it does feel good when your success is my success is your success. Because the game you guys give me, when you see me implement it, you're like, I told him that and it worked out. Boom. And
it shores it up.
I remember when I did the life lessons, I made a life lesson one time, and it was basically about, like, get up and work harder. You can work harder. I'm talking to you, and you can work harder. And then my brother messaged me. He's like, that is going to make you have to work harder. And I was like, that's steel sharp steel, man.
You hit it on the head. And for me, to the question, one, I think we're super connected to the community, right? So from coaching, we just pull up on the youngins. Like, I'll spend a day with a different youngin. We're just giving, we're just mentoring, we're just giving the game. A lot of times people will reach out to us like, hey, I got this question, or yo, should I, do I need a tax number? All these different questions about business, and we're always an open hand for that, right? But the point that I want to touch on what Trevor said is, like, I've been using social media a lot, right? So we had a podcast through my Snapchat, through Instagram, whatever, And Snapchat, you know, someone asked me the other day, are you a content creator? I mean, if that's what, or are you an influencer? Oh, if that's what you want to call it.
You influence,
right? Right.
But for one, you're making content and you're influencing.
If that's what you want to call it, if that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
But I am, right?
Yeah.
But for that, it's like, okay, I show my day to day. I show when I'm fasting. I show my workouts. I show me working. I show me business. One, it keeps me accountable.
Yeah.
It motivates and pushes me because I know people are looking. Oh, well, what day are you on a fast? Are you still fasting? Are you still eating clean?
Yeah.
Oh, you lost the weight? Are you still going to the gym? But then, you know, every day I get someone new, like I'm trying fasting because of you, or I'm going to the gym because of you, or whatever the case is. And that part, you know, I think of us just sharing and giving. Yeah. You know, we live it, right? We live it, and I just try to be an example, right? And pave the way as an example. So if anyone, you know, wants to do something or see us, you know, doing things, and like, okay, hey, we can do that because we see them doing it, right? So
and that's a perfect example would be last week when I seen you make that content, and I was like, I got to get back on making my content. Then we actually did a content together, and it's like, boom, steel sharpens steel. We make each other better. We motivate and inspire each other. I think it's important. The more that we do, and the more game that we give each other, because you give me advice on, oh, you got to do it like this, you got to do it like that, and then it works out, and then you're like, it keeps that ball rolling.
And the big thing for me too, honestly, like, you know, a lot of it was a lot of the things that I learned and that I've learned over the years was I always knew that there was something about me that was different than my environment. I always knew that from 4 years old, from grade 4, right? I've always felt like there was something more about me than my environment. But I had this loyalty to the people that I come from. And I still to this day hold that loyalty high. And so it's like, how can I change this environment? So like, as much as possible, honestly, like I'll learn things just to bring it back. You know what I mean? Like not even necessarily for me. Like sometimes I'll do stuff that I have no desire to do. Yeah. But I feel like this is important, and it's important for the people that I represent. And so I'm only learning it to give it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's forcing me, like even when it comes to my relationship with money, like I like the ball. Like I come from the, you know, I want to ball out. I want to look good. I want to do have fun and all that stuff. But like the real desire for like wealth, like real true money, like not just the money to go buy a couple bottles in the club. Like my desire to really have money is to bless the people that I come from. You know what I mean? To make sure that my mom don't got to continue to work. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that my kids don't got to face some of the same things that I was facing. To make sure that the kids in the community, oh, you got a desire that's deeper than this environment? Well, here's the access to it. So it's like, I'm doing things not even for personal gain. It's just like, yo, I need to make this money to be able to provide for these people.
I remember we had a conversation, and there's often people, they make it and they make it out and then they don't come back. And I remember you were telling me that like, I'm going to be in the community forever. Yeah. And you're a testament of a person that's making it in community and then making it better for community. And I think that's what people got to recognize. Like, there's nowhere to escape to. When you think about your community and where you come from, there's nowhere to run to. You're here. You have to figure out how you can make this place better. And to go back to what you were saying is, the more that we know, the better we can do. Like, what's that saying? The more you know, the more you grow. Or if you know better, you can do better. For us as people, the more that we educate and teach our community, the better our community can become.
100%. Yeah. I don't plan to, like, I still to this day, like, I say it all the time, man, I'm moving to PEI. You know what I mean? Like, because sometimes, man, like sometimes, like, the violence will sometimes get to you. Like, you know what I mean? When you see, you know, some of these young kids, like, with potential, like, because now I'm older. So now I remember you when you're 2. Yeah. I remember you when you're 5. I remember you when you're 8 with major potential. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so it's like that rotation of seeing, you know, a baby not get to live out their life. You feel what I'm saying? Like that it could play on you. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what made me think when you were talking about kicking it with the young homies, because you know that the time you're spending with them is potentially changing their life. Because there's a kid that's 13, 14, 15. You say, oh, I seen him one day, but I was busy doing this other thing, so I didn't pick him up or I didn't grab to him. Now he's gone, like a few years later.
Yeah.
But you know deep down that those conversations that you have with them has effects. Sometimes it's like you're talking to a wall, but the more you continue to talk to the wall, is you're preaching or you're talking to them, sometimes it seeps in and it helps them change. Versus like if we didn't exist, then a lot of kids would be.
And it's the law of magnetism too. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of it is like, man, the bad stuff is so magnetizing. Like it's just such a strong pull. You know what I mean? So like for me, it's like, I'm trying to build my magnet stronger. Honestly, you know what I mean? Like I understand the power of economics because I know what it was for me. You know what I mean? I know what it was when I'm 17 and I got to decide like to ask my mom for money to go to a basketball tournament. You know what I'm saying? Like I know you already struggling, right? I know what that feeling feel like. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know what? I'm not asking mom for this. I'm going to go get it myself. I'm going to go get it myself. I ain't even playing ball no more. Right? So it's like, I understand that powerful, like, intersection that kids face. And so, all I'm trying to do for the kids anyway is, like, when you reach that intersection, that this becomes way more magnetizing. You know what I mean? That magnet is pulling you this way. You know what I mean? Like, there's a way bigger glow over here. You know what I mean? There's $1 million over here waiting for you. All you got to do is just follow the blueprint and go get it. You know
but that's why this generation is making, I feel like, major changes for folks. You guys building R&B Kitchen out the road, it gives the kids from up home a way different perception, a way different look at the world. Like when you go in town, before we just used to have Tasties. Tasties wasn't us. Tasties was just a food place. Now we can have a restaurant. We can have blacktop paving. We can have Trev clothing. We can have all this stuff. And we can have way more than that. It's just young people have to pursue their passions versus like trying to do the same thing as everybody else. Oh, everybody want to pimp. Everybody want to sell dope. Everybody want to do this. But if everybody finds their true niche and what they want to do, their heart surgeon idea, the thing that they really truly want to do, then that's when the community is going to continue to flourish and not just make it and not come back, but make it and stay in community and stay bringing the game back. You know,
Silicon Valley was like in whatever point in time, like Silicon Valley was nothing. Literally, like it wasn't Silicon Valley. You know what I mean? That it is now. It was nothing. Like it was literally like nothing, right? And then a few people, right, did some great things in tech, and it's like, we over here now. Now people are coming. You know what I mean? People are seeking out Silicon Valley. People are dumping billions of dollars over there, right? And so it's like, genuinely, like I really truly believe that, man, like with a few good years of like some breakthrough organizations, some breakthrough businesses, like the whole thing can shift. You know what I mean? And now it's like when we wake up and we see like that other stuff don't even matter to us no more. You know what I mean? Like, man, we seen millionaires. Like, I say this all the time. I always would tell my nephew, like, man, you want to be in the streets? Show me a millionaire, and you got my blessing. You know what I mean? Show me a street millionaire, and you have my blessing. Right? And so it's like until you can show me one that's really in it with $1 million, couple M's.
Very rare, very rare.
You know what I mean?
Good
it's
luck.
like, you know what I mean?
Not around here.
Right?
And,
So,
and that part, you know, what I've been saying is this is the era of peace and prosperity for North Preston, right? I can only speak for North Preston, as this is what we speak for. And, you know, we're seeing that. We're seeing that. Despite, and it's early in the era, right? But this is the era of where we're heading to. Blacktop pavement, R&B Kitchen, Trev clothing, brothers trucks, two brothers trucks, right? There's a long list of more, and I think as we continue to see that growth, more will come, right? And you know, for us, I think it's a principle thing, it's a value thing. Everyone doesn't have those same values as a community, right? We come from a different makeup, a different mesh. Where Putty is the mayor, right? We were raised by the mayor of North Preston. Karen founded the Bulls with him, right? So we seen our parents dedicate their life to this community. So for me, when I remember being young, when I wanted to go to the NBA, why do you want to go to the NBA? My main reason was to make a bunch of money and pour it into North Preston. I had visions of a pool and a community center that I built, for my community. So now when those things transfer, we're deliberate with R&B Kitchen isn't there just for fun. Yeah, we probably will be better off. It's a bad parking spot, right? It's not an ideal location. We probably will be better off somewhere else, but that's where we started and that's where we are.
Because that's us. Like when we're going in town, we know that's us.
That when we drove by, Tasty Pizza wasn't ours, but we claimed it. And it felt like that was our store, right? So now to have a place like that there, it means something to the community. Yeah, we're visible. You know what I'm saying? I was one little homies last night. Okay, we do those things for a reason. Like bank accounts in a good spot, show them the bank account. Like, yo, look, like here's the reality. He's like, man, I never seen nothing like that before, right? So all those things, we try to exist, and we know our light. And like you said, it's the magnetism, right? There's a lot of negativity, but it's not even really as much as we think and we see.
Because a lot
is magnified.
But it's because it's magnified, right? So here, let's make this. Let's put the magnet on this.
And it just got to be 10 times more, right? You know what I mean? I think for me, the big shift will be, like I see it coming, the big shift will be when, we got a Black Doctors Association in Nova Scotia, like where, 10, 15 doctors from, Black Nova Scotia communities, like they exist. Like in 10, 15 years, there might be 50, 60, 100. I don't know. You know what I mean? And it's in every industry. And so I think for us, is like, I believe that entrepreneurs, they run the world and they'll change the world. Literally. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So like, if we want to change the community, we need to build and breed entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? We need to create opportunities for people to become entrepreneurs so that they can look at people's problems, solve them, and make a shit ton of money. And the thing I'll say too, specifically, like we got to move from the industries that we're operating in often: clothing, food, construction.
Real industries.
You know what I mean? Like it's great. Like these are, to me, they're great grassroots starting industries. But man, like, I tell him all the time, we in the wrong business. Like when I look at like the bank account and the people we pay and what they do, I'm saying like,
we working 10 times harder for 10 times less.
You literally don't touch you don't come nowhere near. You've never been here, but you're in that bank account every month like clockwork. You know what I'm saying? So software, like you know what I mean?
Software as a service,
like tech, like
shout out Ross Simmons.
I'm saying like this is where I want to see more of our youth start focusing, because it's not to say that it's easy, it's just easier. You know what I mean? So like when you think about like AI and all these things, like I'll be driving around with this guy sometimes. He be over there talking to the phone. I'm thinking he talking to me, and then the phone start talking back to him. And I'm like, this is crazy. But like to me, that's a foreign understanding to be dealing with AI. But like, man, these kids, like they live with AI. They understand it. So man, like, use the tools that you are accessing and that you're dealing with, and try to shift it for yourself and figure out how you can make some money. Like, I don't know, start a TikTok. Like I'm saying it, and I believe that it's possible. Because like you said earlier, man, like if someone else could do it, you can too.
It baffles me that I think I said this on another episode. It's like there's no famous Black youth from Nova Scotia that's on TikTok or on social media that's like popping.
As influencers?
Like millions of followers. Shout him out.
I can't even remember his page, but there's a couple guys. Like I've seen one guy. He does talk like Nova Scotia videos. He got some followers. But no, there's not a lot. There's definitely not a lot.
Because as entrepreneurs, it's hard for us to like make the content and do the business.
But I'm saying I want to see our people on the bottom, like the foundation of the. I want to see us like creating the platforms. I want to see us creating, the different services that people will access across the world.
This would be a perfect time to shout out Matrix Code.
Oh, I'm probably not good for the pitch for that.
Well, Matrix Code, it's a program for like young Black folks.
Boys
ANF,
Code.
like ANS, African Nova Scotian. Matrix Code, Google it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go check it out
But-
on the One North.
And
that's-
but those are the things we need. How do we create? Yeah, we're cool, but we ain't Ross Simmons cool.
Mhm,
We
mhm.
don't got Ross Simmons money. We don't
Yeah.
got. We're at the level of Ross Simmons is.
Yeah.
But how do we highlight him? How do we
True.
make him
Mhm.
visible to know that okay, here's something. You ask 100 black people from Nova Scotia, 10 might know who he is, might know his
Mhm,
name. They probably would know our name, but not one person, maybe one or two, could tell you what his business is,
Yeah.
right?
And
So it's
crazy.
but his business is huge.
He's
It's
probably like one of the most successful people from up home, bro.
not one of.
Not-
He
not
is probably the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
like,
like there you
one
go.
or him or Blacktop.
Yeah, bro.
Right?
Yeah.
Ross
Is a different
So,
level.
and that's-
but
it's
but
like-
what I'm saying
it's
is
not even
his
close.
business is Blacktop is booming and moving, right? But his business is global.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
got one of the biggest. He's one of the biggest, most successful entrepreneurs in Nova Scotia.
Crazy
Yeah, not just
right?
North Preston.
So-
All out.
But how
Ross
do we
is
highlight
Steph
him?
Curry in the SaaS world?
Oh, for
in
100%.
Yeah.
The crazy
He's-
thing, I just delivered Ross a New Road hoodie today.
Hey, way to
you know
go,
what I
way to
mean,
go.
right?
Yeah.
And so
Is that
like,
from my video?
It was.
Told you,
It
man.
was.
Told you.
You told me.
I
You
told you. I'm good for
Yeah.
5, 10 sales.
The crazy thing would be like, how do we? Because it's easy for like us, because we can think about when we were 12 and 13
Yeah.
and what we were gravitated towards.
Mhm.
Like the negativity is easily
Mhm.
contracted. We're sold this fake idea.
Ross, you
on the
gotta buy a
media.
Lamborghini, man.
I'm telling you,
Buy a
like I think
Lamborghini.
that we have to rally behind him to be like, get one so you can show the young guys, because
Mhm.
the young guys need to see it in order to want to be it. Because
Mhm.
right now they just want to. Oh, the rappers got the Amiris and
The
the
flashy.
Gucci shoes and the
Put
and
it
the
to you
cars.
this way. I talked to a couple little homies the other day, and crazy. So some guys from around the way got arrested. Their case was in the newspaper,
Mm.
right? But the case said $2.3 million, right? The article. But the article was speaking about the total. There's a specific task force, but the total amount of money that the task force seized in that year was $2.3 million. These little guys thought the guys that got busted had $2.3 million.
See, you know the crazy
Marketing.
thing about that is these guys get busted and they didn't get caught with the 2.3 million, but then now the community thinks they got that kind of money. So now
Strategic.
murder and crazy stuff happens because people think you got this money.
Strategic.
yeah,
Like,
no, and I think
That's not good.
yeah.
Not good. So I had to make them aware that
Yeah.
wasn't the case. But my whole point is the negativity is magnified. We need to magnify Ross Simmons,
Mhm.
right? We need to
100%.
see that. Okay, yeah, here you might think this world and this way of living is this, but it's really not.
Mhm.
And I can show you how it's not.
Mhm.
But yeah, go ask this. Go check his bank account.
Read his
Right?
book.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called again?
Create,
Create
once,
once.
distribute forever.
Boom. Create once, distribute forever. We had him on. He was one of our first guests on
Was he
here.
first? Yeah, first season. Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like Ross is super cool to kind of reach back and give back to kids
Mm.
or to people in general.
Game.
You know what I mean?
Game.
But I think ultimately, man, like it just comes down to simply like, you know, and even I will say this too, like parents,
Yeah.
parents got a way bigger role to play in their kids' development. You got to be intentional.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think too, like a lot of it is Nevell said earlier, getting out your own way. So like we have to do a little bit better of a job as a people, like, you know, getting ourselves in a better shape.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Educationally, and economically, right? Like we gotta have a little bit more discipline economically so that our kids can see a better example
Mm-hmm.
of what that looks like. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because like, yeah, like it's hard to see beyond the walls of your own home. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, in many situations, right? Like, you know, the environment wins, but sometimes like, yeah, it's hard to penetrate the house, right? So like, if any parents is out there, like, man, like, you know, continue to just take the little small strides to just really become better economically.
I feel like a lot of what you guys touch on is take risks, like do the work, but then also continuously educate yourself along the journey. Like, because like from the very beginning to really even right now, you guys are still learning, you guys are still growing, you guys are still doing what you got to do. But then look at to the younger person or our peers, it's like, what would you tell them? Like, you just got to continue to learn.
I'm not the best player, but I'll take the shot at the end of the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Every time.
Mhm.
And I know I'm not the best player on the team, but I will take the shot.
Mm.
Right? And not because I don't care about the consequence, but because, I know I've been practicing shooting.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I'm willing to take the consequence. Like, if you don't have it mentally, like, not saying him, but like, if you're on my team and you don't have it mentally and you've been putting in the work and you don't have it mentally, okay, cool, pass the ball to me. I'll shoot it. Worst case, I miss.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Right? And so I think that's really what it is. Like, put in the work, then you're comfortable in the position. Right? Like, it's the same thing. Like, it's numbers, it's marketing, it's ordering food. It's all the same. Right? But
yeah, that's dope because the whole ecosystem with what you guys got going on is that business base, and it allows you guys to continue to elevate.
Yeah. I completely appreciate the analogies that you've made, how basically the basketball journey tied right into the entrepreneurship and all of that cool stuff. So definitely showing the ways that like skills from there manifested there and how you're sharing that to the youth. And speaking about sharing to the youth, is there any advice or last comments that you'd like to share with anyone that may be inspired by your journey and want to follow in your footsteps?
You know, I always try to speak to, you know, my younger self in that position. And, you know, the thing that I always would tell myself is, man, you're capable, bro. You know what I mean? Especially right now, like knowing everything that I've been through and everything that I've able to accomplish in my short life. It's like, man, you're capable, right? So like, and I never really had a lot of doubt, but I had a lot of resistance. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't doubt myself, but there was always resistance around me. There was always things in front of me. And so like, you know, especially to the younger people, man, like believe in yourself and just know you're capable. Like you can do things that you desire inside of your brain and you have all the tools to be able to do it. You know what I mean? It may not be like, it might take a little sacrifice though. You know what I mean? You might not be able to kick it with the homies 7 days a week. You might got to reduce it down to 5. You know what I mean? Maybe even 3, you know, depending on, but like, and the thing is too, like, you know, I tell my son this, like, if you can't lead others, you got to lead yourself. You know what I mean? And hopefully someone will follow you. But like at a minimum, like, man, you got to lead yourself to where you're trying to go. Right? So like, yeah, no, you're capable of doing it, man. Like, I believe in you, really and truly. Like any younger person, man, I don't care what you're facing, I believe in you.
I love that.
You know what I mean? That. Like, yeah, you capable for real.
I feel like a lot of young people need to hear that. I know. Like men, women, even adults. Like you need someone to believe in you sometimes to walk in places that are kind of blurry where you don't know how to get there.
Our mom, she 50 plus. You know what I mean? She started a business one Smooth Meal Prep. She started with us, right? She took the biggest risk. Like you starting a business with your kids. You know what I mean? Like, right? And so she took a big risk, and eventually she even left her job, right? And like at her big age, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so, yeah, like something just didn't fit right, and it just felt better. And it's like, why not? You know what I mean? I think it was a lot of times for me, probably him too, but like for me, like, you know, knowing that pressure of like the family is dependent on this thing to work. You know what I mean? Like, we got to make this work. Like, you know, I think back to our forefathers when they used to shovel out to the road. You know what I mean? If they don't shovel, it ain't getting shoveled. No one can go to town. No food coming in. And so it's like, you know, understanding that, like, it don't matter what age you at. Like, man, you capable of learning. Like, you are capable of learning some things to be able to reshape your future, right?
Key,
so yeah,
key.
Yeah, and I would just, you know, double down on the ability, right? Like, we're no rocket science. You know, we're smart, but we ain't the smartest guys ever. Like, I've been in places with some really smart people, and I'm not that, right? But I think for us, it was just belief in yourself and learning, right? You know, learning and being willing to learn, right? So those would be the two things I said. Believe in yourself, man, whatever it is, it's cliche, but usually things that are cliche means that they've been said a lot for a reason, right? But if you think it, you can do it, right? And man, there's been thoughts, Booster Juice, it was a dream. It was a pipe dream. It was like, but we made it happen, right? So that part of, like, you know, you're capable of whatever it is that you set out to do. And then secondly, just being a lifelong student. You said it, right? The learning never stops. We're learning today. We're learning yesterday. We'll continue to learn. As you go down any walk in life, the learning has to always continue. Mentors, books, podcasts, whatever that is, wherever that learning comes from, but continue to learn. And the other part about learning is information changes so fast and things are moving so fast. So if you're not learning, you're behind because something new is existing. A new way of doing things exists, right? So I would say to any young person, those two things, right? Believing in yourself and being willing to learn and seeking out learning. I think that'll help you, go a long way.
Perfect. You want me to do the one word?
Yeah.
All right. So One North End, pun intended, we have a one-word checkout. So at the end of every podcast episode, even our team meetings, we'll do a one-word checkout, one word to reflect how this conversation may have made you feel, how you're feeling in general this evening, throughout the day, and to describe why you chose that word.
I'm inspired, right? I think sometimes when you're in the thick of it, right, you got the horse blinders on and you just run into the goal line, and sometimes you don't get to see who's really watching, right? And so I think it's inspiring to know, I'll probably be in the comments and stuff, like, so it's inspiring to know that people are watching. It's always inspiring to know when you can share space with people and they sharing your values, and so to me, yeah, it's inspiring. It's inspiring to be in this place. It's a dope building. Like I'm inspired. I talked about it earlier about how, it's a motivator for me to like go and learn more, to go and do more, to give back more. So, just even being in this flow, it inspired me to be like, yeah, I got to go get some more to bring back. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah.
What you were touching on earlier, capable, from this whole conversation, like all of us are capable to do anything. And you guys been making me feel like I've been capable over the years. Like, it's crazy thinking back to how long we've known each other, but it's just like, we getting old, bro. But like, we still capable. And like, you guys running R&B Kitchen, smooth meal prep, booster juice, that makes me feel capable. So I know it makes other people from community feel capable. And just being it, like just knowing that you can do it, like with someone from your community can do it, you know that you can do it. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's where I feel like, that's why this makes me feel capable going from this conversation. But every time I hang with you guys, I always get fired up, either getting challenged or getting pushed. And I feel like it puts that fire in me to be capable and know that I can do it.
All right.
You.
All right. The word that I'm choosing is learn, more specifically, because a couple quotes stuck to me today, but the learn to learn really stuck to me, and the chasing failure. Typically we hear the chase success, but I think taking that perspective of chasing failure, because through failure, you're learning how to adapt and to respond to some of the hardships. And if you're not failing, you're not pushing yourself hard enough to learn something new. So yeah, learning is a big thing that I'm reflecting on, and I'll also take that outside of this conversation as well, to push myself a little bit more in life too.
Gotcha. And I'll finish it off with willing, right? I think, this is a convo and hearing just the will to learn, the will to believe in yourself, and just willing to do whatever it takes to get where you need to be. And I think, in any journey, right? Yeah, we're speaking about entrepreneurship. That's the background we come from. But in any journey that you're looking to undergo in life, I think you got to be willing to do a lot of different things. And I think willing yourself starts with humbling yourself. And that's kind of the space I'm in right now as well. It's just, there's not much I'm not willing to do, right? And I think, success and early signs of success have shown from that.
Yeah, this is going to be a great episode to watch back. Appreciate you guys coming too.
We appreciate you both coming on. This was an amazing, inspiring conversation. I'm definitely moved. I could probably speak for everybody in this room right now, that we're all moved. And yeah, we just appreciate having you all on. Y'all already know what to do. I'm going to pass it to Trev, give you an assist to tell them what to do on this.
Oh, yeah. Like, subscribe, leave your one-word checkout like we just left that one-word checkout. Follow these guys on social media. They'll be in the comments. Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys for watching. We're on season 2. This is the finale for season 2. Look out for season 3 coming your way soon.
And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Yeah.
So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to our Feature Friday podcast. And just wanted to make sure that you guys are connected on all platforms. So wherever you're tuning in, maybe even leave us a 5-star review.
If you're watching on YouTube, hit like and subscribe.
And on our social medias as well, you can follow us at ANS Lab or at African Nova Scotian Youth Lab as well on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We got the whole mumble jumble. It'll be in our link tree in our bio.
Don't forget to enter our contest that we have in each episode.
And the way to enter that contest will be sprinkled throughout our episodes, so make sure that you're listening and paying attention.
Each episode may be different, but comment below wherever you are.
And if you don't use social media and you're one of those people, you can even reach out to us by email at anslab@onenorthend.com.
The details are in the episode description.
And last but not least, we want to make sure that we get you guys connected to our resource, our network of resources, the Grapevine newsletters. So to get subscribed, you can check the link in our bio and subscribe yourself. But if you're not that tech savvy, you can also email us at anslab@onenorthend.com and we can get you hooked up.
We'll see you on the next episode.
See you next month.
Let's get it.
Feature Friday. Friday.
What's your favorite thing about Fridays?
That's a good question.
The features.